Really? Okay. Mr. Delaney, thank you for being here. Tell me just briefly why you want to be a judge. I'm going to get to your experience and how you're moving to a circuit without any past experience. I want to know a little bit about your personal experience to make you feel like you're ready for the job. But you had to know coming into this hearing that the subject that's been covered by a lot of my colleagues would be addressed. So you had to go through probably preparation for the hearing, anticipating that. But just for somebody who has had a successful law practice, why make the move to being a circuit court judge?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I'm informed by my nearly 30 years of experience in public service and private practice in answering your question. On a personal level, I just love appellate law. I've done everything. I've done trials. I've done administrative law. I've worked on appeals. And the ability to ensure that cases are fairly reviewed for error is something I think is an area where I could contribute. I also believe that the opportunity to serve on the First Circuit Court of Appeals, in light of the varied background I've had, is probably the most significant way I could contribute to my country and represent my state on that circuit. And I also, when I think about why I want to do it, I understand that what judges do every day dramatically affects people, some for the good and some for the bad. And if I had the opportunity to be confirmed, I would dedicate the entirety of my mind, my heart, and my body to trying to make it right, knowing that every decision I made was going to impact people.
We've had a few nominees come before our committee, and I haven't heard anybody say anything about dumb tweets or papers or posts. So it looks as though your background on that score seems to be relatively innocuous, not rising to a level of asking you a question. We've had a lot of prior nominees come before the committee. They had a lot of writings. They had a lot of statements about how empathy needs to play a role in your job as a judge. Where do you fit on the notion that either popular opinion or empathy, the wants or needs of activists, should have any role whatsoever in your ultimate rulings?
Thank you for the question, Senator. If confirmed, I would change from being an advocate to adjudicating cases. And I think the areas of influence on a circuit court judge are very defined and narrowed. The facts of the case presented to me, open-mindedness, and hearing arguments from the parties to the case, not people outside the case. And then decision-making that involves clear reasoning and clear explanation for litigants as to why a fair and impartial decision has been made. I don't believe that outside influences have a role in that, Senator, and it's not a place that would guide me if confirmed to be a judge.
Thank you. The last question I have relates to the horrible incident with a police chief losing his life, several other officers shot. I think a review of that said that there were no one problem, but several problems that needed to be addressed. How has that changed in light of that? You were AG at the time, I believe?
I was, Senator, and I believe you're referring to the tragic death of Greenland, New Hampshire Police Chief Michael Maloney, who was shot and killed just days before his retirement, backing up a drug raid that went bad. When I was Attorney General and we lost Chief Maloney, I immediately commissioned an independent group of law enforcement officers to review that matter and ensure that we learned from it everything we could, having lost him in the manner that we did. They adopted a report that called for many reforms of the drug task force that oversaw that raid. We changed leadership in the law enforcement group that was in charge of that raid, and law enforcement as a community went together about fixing the things that had gone wrong.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Delaney, I've been listening to your answers